So this is the first time I'm going to speak on camera about this particular subject, and it's just because it's come to a point where I just cannot stay silent. I'm not actually going to get into anything to do with whether the measures that we're taking are, are wise, or if they possibly cause more damage than anything else, but I want to speak about something else. I want to speak about a path that hasn't been explored sufficiently, well, if at all, particularly in the official media and in politics, obviously. It's the path of using therapeutic means to fight this epidemic. So I'm just going to read out my petition that I just started yesterday on change, and I would like you to listen to it closely and listen with an open mind, please. In March 2020, a panel of medical experts called the Frontline COVID-19 Critical Care Alliance in the United States started reviewing the fast emerging science and clinical data in order to develop a treatment protocol for COVID-19.
I'm not speaking as an individual. I'm speaking on behalf of the organization that I'm a part of. We are a group of some of the most highly published physicians in the world. We have near 2,000 peer-reviewed publications among us, led by Professor Paul Marik, who is our intellectual leader. We came together early on in the pandemic, and all we have sought is to review the world's literature on every facet of this disease.
The group has since developed, ignore the cat, a prophylactic and early outpatient combination treatment protocol for COVID-19 called iMask Plus. This protocol is centered around the use of Ivermectin, a well-known anti-parasite drug with recently discovered antiviral and anti-inflammatory properties and a rapidly growing published medical evidence base demonstrating its unique and highly potent ability to inhibit SARS-CoV-2 replication. Multiple experts from the FLCCC, as well as other health professionals and COVID survivors, have since at least July 2020, if not for a longer time, been speaking out about the effectiveness of this particular drug.
Ivermectin. This is a 40-year-old anti-parasitic drug. It was awarded, the discovery of ivermectin was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2015. Ivermectin is on the World Health Organization, the WHO's list of essential medications. This drug is FDA approved for the use of parasitic infections. Ivermectin has been safely used in 3.7 billion, that's with a B, 3.7 billion people across the world have been treated with ivermectin for parasitic diseases. And what we know, this is a remarkably safe drug. Just to re-emphasize, this is a safe drug that is exceedingly cheap. What is truly remarkable, this was a gift to us. Ivermectin has high activity against COVID-19. Let me repeat that. Ivermectin remarkably has high activity against COVID-19. And as we will see, it is highly efficacious for pre-exposure treatment, for post-exposure treatment, for treatment in the early symptomatic phase, and remarkably, it has clinical activity in the late stage in hospitalized patients.
How certain you were about using this as a coronavirus treatment?
Yeah, sure. Well, I've been interested in ivermectin as a treatment for COVID for some time because I do quite a bit of work in Bangladesh. I have a couple of clinics where I teach over there. And a lot of the work on ivermectin has been done in Bangladesh. There have been 2 published studies that support ivermectin being effective as a treatment. And in fact, at this moment, as we speak, the head of my clinic in Bangladesh is suffering from COVID and is taking ivermectin himself. And because of the anecdotal information from the doctors in Bangladesh that they're getting good results, and because of the published studies, I was fairly comfortable when Michael contacted me and said that he liked the idea of him and his family taking ivermectin. I thought that was a safe option.
Tell us, Doctor, then, what's the legal status for you prescribing these drugs for this condition? We know there's a lot of conjecture about various treatments around the world. What's the status of this treatment?
Well, my understanding it's called an off-label prescription. So ivermectin is readily available for parasite infections. It's not approved as a COVID infection treatment yet, but it can be used off-label.
Right, and what's your assessment? You've seen Michael, you've seen his wife. What's your assessment of their infections and how this treatment has worked on them?
Well, their feedback to me, particularly Angela, who was really quite sick at the start, their feedback is that they feel that they've improved at the same time that they were taking the ivermectin. So it's plausible that the ivermectin has helped.
Well, let's get the final word from each of you. Firstly, you, Michael, you are convinced that this treatment has helped you. You would suggest that more doctors need to look at it?
I think everybody has to look at it, because what's our alternative? No medication, no treatment, just sit there and suffer at home.
And Corey et al. Have made clear that thousands of lives could have been saved. Thus, quoting, "It is imperative that our major national and international healthcare agencies be made aware of this emerging data in order to devote the necessary resources to more quickly validate these studies and confirm the major positive epidemiologic impacts that have been recorded when ivermectin is widely distributed among populations with a high incidence of COVID-19 infections."
We now need a national and international and global call to action. We are calling the national and global health authorities. Please look at the data. Please look at the data. This data is now widely available. We have to act now. We have to act quickly. We have to act with compassion. We have to do what we can to end this pandemic.
The situation regarding ivermectin in the UK, and also in other countries for that matter, is that doctors are either not aware of this life-saving protocol or base their views on dated recommendations and standards set by, for Britain, the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, for example, which astonishingly makes no mention of ivermectin's use in treating COVID-19. As a trained allied health professional and concerned citizen, I'm deeply appalled that the UK government has to date failed to openly discuss and taken into consideration the substantial benefits that could be gained by the widespread use of ivermectin, particularly amongst the most vulnerable. Instead, we're being told that a vaccine is the only silver bullet in the fight against COVID-19, which is clearly not the case. Therefore, in order to protect UK citizens, this petition demands that government and its regulatory authorities look into the available evidence and ultimately to make the widespread implementation of this drug a matter of priority.
We appeal to the national, international, and global health authorities to please review the data. This is a crisis situation. We have put together a document which summarizes all the information on ivermectin. This is available on our website, as well as other helpful data. We implore doctors, physicians, healthcare providers, nurses, physician assistants, please familiarize yourself with this information. It's up to you to help us collectively save the world. We have to do this now. People are dying.
The question I want to ask, like I did in my petition, why don't we know about this? Why are the media not talking about it? And I'm not going to start any theories about it, but one thing I can say is that, well, the patent has run out of this drug, a drug that has received a Nobel Prize in 2015 for its use in treating parasitic infections, a safe drug, a drug that has hardly any side effects as far as I'm aware. Yet, if I speak to doctors, they don't seem to know anything about it in the context of COVID, or they are reluctant or even unable to prescribe it. Now, this is wrong. I just think it's wrong. And I want you to go out there and talk about it. I want you to ask your GPs, ask anyone who has anything to do with this, with the fight against COVID. And I want this to be raised in the media. So I hope this was helpful, and I really, really, really encourage you to sign my petition and share it widely. Thanks for listening.